Breaking right now. Anything Catherine can do, Meghan has to do better. After the Prince and Princess of Wales released their first ever Valentine's Day post, this beautiful, touching.
Just when you thought the royal drama couldn't get any more theatrical, Meghan Markle drops a Valentine's Day tribute so sugary, so over the top, it actually made headlines for all the wrong reasons. Was it a genuine message of love, or just another PR stunt gone horribly wrong?
Not over the top message, just a love heart to express their love after everything they've been through. The duplicitous Duchess of Woke couldn't help trying to prove that the relationship that we've all been watching disintegrating at the Invictus Games this week is actually stronger than ever. Grab your sick bucket. Look at this picture. Of course, it's another over-the-top PDA. And then let me read out Meghan's tribute to her Harry. Back home, taking care of our babies and missing my Valentine, who continues on at the Invictus Games, changing lives and reminding all of us of the power of healing and resilience through these incredible veterans and their family. Beyond proud of my husband and what he's created. My love, I will eat burgers and fries and fish and chips with you forever. Thank you for you. #LoveWins. The problem is, we know from our sources that love was losing at the Invictus Games. As Royally Sage quite rightly points out, yeah, this is the look of love right here. Facetiously, of course. And there were so many examples of this at the Invictus Games, not to mention the fact that Meghan, of course, left early, not by choice. Even Harper's Bazaar, one of her favourite publications, has now admitted that was the case because it just hadn't worked out. It had been an utter PR disaster.
Today we're breaking down the backlash, the awkward footage from the Invictus Games, and what royal expert Angela Levin has exclusively revealed about the state of Harry and Meghan's relationship. Buckle up, this one's messy. Here's the post that lit up social media.
And then there was this other video, look at this, which showed Harry now relegated to the position of manservant. How the mighty have fallen. So let me bring in Angela Levin, our royal mastermind and Prince Harry's biographer. Angela, what do you think? Another big PDA. Isn't it awful too? Isn't it just awful? She couldn't just allow William and Catherine to have their moment on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, we've known for a long time now that she's very jealous of her. And every time she can try and do it over her, she does. But, they're so different. And Catherine is so calm and steady and natural. And Meghan is absolutely none of those things. She's got to be in the front, but she makes a mistake of what will work. I mean, like she was, always looking for the cameraman. Here are the sort of words that she's written about Harry that make you feel quite sick, actually, I'm afraid to say, because it's ludicrous. Somebody talking like that, as if they're worshipping the most extraordinary man on the earth. But then, 5 minutes later, you can see her giving him the most growling look on her face. So what's she doing? And also this sort of really silly thing, I'm going to eat, what was it, chips and thing with you. I mean,
Oh, yeah. I will eat burgers and fries and fish and chips with you forever. Let me tell you, with the amount of Ozempic or Monjaro that Meghan's on at the moment, she's not doing much eating. But there you go.
Yeah. I mean, it is really, she doesn't learn that if she overdoes something like over kissing or over pulling him, that actually maybe go easy and people might like you more. They just don't like it, that it's just so much over the top. But here she goes again, being absolutely over the top again. What she's saying, what she's doing. We don't need to see her kissing him all the time. It's just incredibly annoying. Go somewhere else and do it not in front of everybody. And what does that mean anyway? You can do that, she might have taken it from months ago. And what does that mean? One kiss doesn't make her love.
As Meghan's mole posted, Angela, William and Catherine shared a loving photo for Valentine's Day. Meghan copies and even signs off the same way Catherine and William sign off on their social media posts. I'm not a body language expert, but why doesn't Harry ever look like he enjoys kissing his wife? Is that a fair point?
I think that actually it's embarrassing for him. She is very flamboyant. She wants everybody to look at her and see her. But Harry wants to please her, but doesn't really want to have her kissing him all the time, and hanging on to him, grabbing him, keeping him. If he tried to get up and go, pulling him back. I mean, she wants him by her side all the time, which actually shows that she's very insecure. And it's ridiculous. And talking about him as if he's some great master hero is also silly, also silly. She sent him off for 4 months to go away and leave her alone. And then suddenly she thinks he's wonderful. Make up your mind, Meghan.
Meghan Markle writing a poetic tribute to Prince Harry, talking about burgers, fries, fish and chips, and eternal love. But viewers quickly noticed something wasn't right. It didn't sound personal. It sounded rehearsed.
And also, as Nancy Sidley points out, oh my God, love wins, clown, because this is one of those phrases that's been used by the Sussex squad, isn't it?
Yes, but I think love wins doesn't actually, that's silly, isn't it? But do they love each other really? Do they? Are they still suited? Does Harry feel that he's a really strong man who's having a wonderful time? No, he hates it in America. He hasn't found his place and he hasn't made friends. He wants to please Meghan, but he doesn't know what her mood's going to be like from one to another. But this is a very silly thing. It's the same thing as the speech she did, when she arrived. It's all sort of, it's overacting. And you can't believe a word of it.
But what is interesting, though, Angela, is that from what I'm hearing, and I'm fascinated to know what your sources are saying, but from what I'm hearing, Harry was so exhausted after those few days with Meghan in Canada that he actually ended up spending that day off just drinking a lot and trying to unwind. I mean, it just shows you that things are so unhealthy.
Yes, but I mean, I think for anybody, it would be very difficult to actually look after that person who's so demanding, doesn't want you to look away, wants attention every minute, as long as you're there, and especially when the cameras are on you. And it's very, very wearing. And I think once she'd gone, he could relax a bit and she'd worn him out. And I think that, you could see that, how she was jumping up and down and these passionate kisses and holding his head so that she could, kiss him properly, and all the sort of demands, physical and actually talking. It's just shows that she's a very, very damaged woman. If she felt that he did love her and they were together and it was very nice, she didn't need to do all these things. Somebody else said if they were that desperate, they should have gone and took a hotel room. It was just sort of ridiculous behavior all the time. But Harry, obviously, I believe when he said that he was thrilled that she was there because it was nice for him that she came, but actually it was too much of a powerful, ridiculous, explosive relationship. And you did see more than once that she looked at him in an absolute fury because he wasn't actually doing something that she didn't want or didn't like. And she even then, which is a photograph we've just seen, she sort of hangs on to him as long as she can before he moves on. I mean, there's something very, very odd to do that. That's not really showing that you love each other, because then you can relax in it and enjoy it. You don't have to keep on, either talking or, I mean, Camilla, the Queen, said to me what she loves with the King is when they go to Scotland, they sit in a room with a fire, a natural fire, wood fire, and they both read books across the room. They don't say anything, but they have such a lovely feeling that they're both there relaxing, enjoying themselves. And that's how she finds going away is absolutely wonderful because you've got that space and the calmness. And I think in a way that's right. You don't want someone to keep on, kissing you and moving you this way and that way. And that the picture that Catherine and William had is one that have taken. They haven't done a special picture for today. Yeah, that's lovely. They enjoy their two dogs, one of whom is no longer with them. But you should feel comfortable with somebody. You don't need to talk when you're really comfortable with somebody in a room and it's warm and cozy. You just relax, and she just can't. She's nervous and anguished, and he has to do the right thing, and the cameras have to be right there, and it's exhausting for everyone, I think.
Words like healing, resilience, and changing lives made it feel more like a press release than a love letter, and the timing, just hours after William and Catherine's simple heart emoji post. Coincidence?
It annoyed me. I know a lot of people found it absolutely ridiculous that a woman of her age, when they've been married for 7 years, want to do this sort of exhibition of kissing and hugging. Most people weren't taken in by that at all.
No, and of course, there are so many competing interests, Angela, because not only are they trying to save the relationship, and of course, they both have lots of ups and downs when they're thinking about what they want to do in that regard. Meghan's number one priority is saving her career, saving her reputation. And she intends to do that via social media. And she intends to do that via Instagram. And so what that means is that Harry has to throw out all of those claims that he's made to people like you for years and years, that privacy is his number one thing, and actually all of a sudden accept the fact that she is going to be filming him 24/7, which he already gets PTSD about in regards to his late mother. So all of this is actually going to add to the toxicity of the relationship at just a time when they're trying to save it.
Yes, he gave an interview. Harry gave an interview yesterday evening in Canada, and he said that he loves Canada. They've been so wonderful to him and Meghan. And what he likes most is that no one was after him. No one was there for them. They left them alone, and it was very peace and quiet. And he was so thankful. Whereas in the UK, there were hundreds of people after him. We didn't say hundreds, but a lot of people after him all the time. And then, as you say, this is absolutely the opposite of what he wants. But then he's not happy in America, is he? He doesn't have jobs that satisfy him. He hasn't got friends, really good friends, and he doesn't like it. And that's why half of him is trying to come back to the UK, and half of him is trying to sort of hang on in there somehow, or go off on his jaunts for a few months and see what he wants to see that he used to do years ago. And that's not really a good way of having a marriage. I mean, they both are so different in what they want to do and what they expect. And Meghan is all about me, and Harry wants to actually not be me, just wants to disappear.
No, it's very, very telling at the moment that their priorities are at such a different place. Angela, their parenting is very much under the spotlight after these very awkward encounters over the past week as well. Now, Meghan, once she returned home, immediately was trying to justify the fact that she had been forced to pack her bags. It was not planned, from my understanding. It wasn't something that she wanted, but she put on Instagram a taste of Canada and the Invictus Games for our little ones, cheering you on from home. But Angela, you're a bit concerned with some of the things that are in that
Yeah,
photo.
a
Can you
bit.
explain?
I'm very concerned because there are two sort of bear claws in chocolate. At the end, there are cashew nuts, which are like the nails of the cat. Now, Lilibert is only 3. You shouldn't really give people hard nuts like that till they're 5 at least. And so Archie's within that as well. Also in that chocolate thing with the red ribbon, there's also nuts on that. I mean, you really, really mustn't give small children nuts because they can choke on them. I was really shocked. And I thought to myself, doesn't she know about that? Is it landmines and nuts for her children? I mean, it is nuts, actually, if you think that that's what's right. It isn't. I mean, it's dangerous. And I hope she's very careful about that. But she should know that, actually. But the fact that she doesn't actually shows that she's obviously not very involved in what a child needs or wants. But I thought I was really, really shocked, actually.
Between the staged affection, contradicting public messages and growing media backlash, even from their usual allies, the Sussex brand is clearly struggling. Harry wants privacy, Meghan wants the spotlight, they're pushing different agendas and the cracks are starting to show.
Yeah, I mean, I guess what we are learning over this week is just that at the moment their priority is not their children. Now, I've done quite a lot of reporting on this. I'll be revealing much more in the weeks to come, Angela, but they are not hands-on parents, especially Meghan. But you are really shocked by this interview with People magazine, where Prince Harry has seemed to suggest that both of his children are fascinated by wounded soldiers. What's he said?
Yes, well, he said um, it's really very interesting conversation to have with my kids. They're completely fascinated by wounded men. I have to explain why that person is missing a leg, why that person is missing an arm. Why do they look that way? They do. It's challenging but important. Now, I feel, I mean, we can all bring up our own children. You protect your children from that. You don't let them see all these awful things because it's very upsetting for a child. And I think that the fact that he thought that that was a good idea, or also talking about his late mother walking across minefields, it's why are you telling children to learn that? I don't know whether they actually do it or whether he thinks that it sounds good for him to say that. But I've got 3 sons, but would I would never have ever thought of doing something like that. I mean, if you got a little bit, you can do one thing, but you don't want them to think, here the people from all around the world and they're all damaged and they can't walk and they're in a wheelchair. And the child will think, well, what might happen to me? And you have to then console them and make sure that they feel that they're loved and they're okay and it won't happen. Not that you don't know, but you just have to try and keep it for a child. A 3-year-old is very interested in this. I can't believe
No,
it.
as if,
I
and
don't
Angela,
think
this
they'll
is
even have the board. They'll be bored out of their lives. They'll just go off. They're going to sit there for ages looking at somebody who can't walk properly.
no,
They
but it's
have to
really
know what the world is
traumatizing
like,
too.
but not too early, not so early.
If this was meant to save their image, it may have just exposed even more. What do you think? Was Meghan's tribute heartfelt or fake? Is this just another celebrity couple on the brink or something deeper? Drop your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more no-nonsense royal coverage. Until next time, stay sharp and stay skeptical.